Hello and welcome back to Rogue Trader. We are just basically exploring systems right now, trying to find links to places we want to go. And last time we cleared out this system of Xenos, so it is time for us to scan some planets and see what's going on. Well, maybe some of the planets where the Xenos were living. You never know. Right, let's have a look here. What is going on at this planet, the Grey Planet? We have some plasteel. A natural accumulation of irregularities on a solid planetoid surface has been detected. Probability of occurrence of natural materials high. Okay. Do we need that? That's the question. No. Alright, so no reason to do anything there. We know it's there, so we can come back later. Right, and that's the same thing, basically, down here. Next planet. Ooh. That's interesting. Those look like almost chaos symbols. Ah, this planet had 50 XP on it. Wonderful. Next planet. Well, that's interesting up there. Again, absolutely nothing on this planet. Okay, I mean there's experience on each planet, so it is worth doing. It's just, yeah, nothing for us to find. Now look, that's got to be a structure. Yaha! Monastery of the Order of the Hammer. Okay, let's have a look. Lord Captain, we have received a transmission from Foulstone. It was sent by members of the Order of the Hammer, votaries of Saint Cognatius, whose monastery is the only settlement on the planet. Did we not hear about Foulstone before? Or rather, it used to be. Some time ago, a transport vessel, the Navigator, we've definitely heard that before, unloaded several thousand refugees from a planet belonging to a rogue trader Winterscale. Oh, is this the planet that the refugees were sent to? So they were sent originally to Footfall, and then this is where they were redirected to. The Order of the Hammer has judged this invasion to be an act of aggression and is asking for your lordship's protection. Okay. Those people are victims, not invaders. Prepare my shuttle. I shall head to the planet and resolve this conflict. As it pleases your lordship. Ooh, okay. So we got a book one here. So, sector, Koronus Expanse. Region, Caesar system. Location, Monastery of Saint Cognatius, Foulstone. Material, chronicle compiled by the humble archivist, Brother Petrikos. I'm just wondering, can I look at my journal here? No. Okay. 11 days after the feast of the passing of Nicomedes Keefe, the champion of faith, disquietude marred the calm of the monastery of the Order of the Hammer. Countless tortured souls steeped in fear arrived on Foulstone in a star bark. A great apostasy had befallen their home and turned them into abject wanderers seeking help and refuge. Their wicked and cruel captain, the owner of the Navigator, had betrayed them. Once the unknowing souls in his care had made landfall on the world's surface, he most deviously recalled his shuttles and left, thus ridding himself of his duty of care to the unfortunate lot. Not knowing how they would survive in Foulstone's grim wastelands, the forsaken people came to the monastery of Saint Cognatius, and there they surrounded its walls. They hammered their fists on its gate, and implored and wailed, "Take us in, protect us!" And what was once a place of serenity and grace was now full of din, disorder, and all manner of things despicable. The interlopers brought with them worldly futility and strife. After a prayer, the prelate Hectarchius turned his eye to the past in search of instruction. Prelate Hectarchius recalled the first missionaries to set foot on Foulstone's vast wasteland, led by their zeal for serving Saint Cognatius. And those missionaries had received the blessing of Nicomedes Keefe, the champion of faith who had travelled with them in their star bark to found this place a humble and pure abode wherein to cultivate wisdom and piety. And Saint Cognatius, a man of great endeavours, a warrior and wise artificer, never cowered behind the walls of a libarium, but stepped bravely into the darkness, carrying light in the palm of his hand, and he commanded others to do the same. And not only Foulstone, but many other worlds of the Koronus Expanse bear its imprint. And Prelate Hectarchius did welcome the interlopers warmly as his guests, but he did warn his brethren to keep their vigilance. The brethren and sisters of the Order of the Hammer came forth to meet the strangers, carrying water and protein victuals and medicinal herbs and jugs of promethium. But the crowd came to blows over viands, and blood was spilt, and many were trampled or mauled in the stampede, some of them dwellers of the monastery. When the warriors of the Order of the Hammer donned their flat cowls, inscribed words of praise to the God Emperor on tactical visors, and went forth ready to render service in battle, with lasguns and bolters they pierced the interlopers. With their chainswords and power flails they struck them, and a great and bloody harvest was reaped that day. But the interlopers, too, scant though their armament was, and scanter their skill in battle, slew many among the monastery's dwellers, for great were their numbers, and greater their desperation. The monks fled beyond their walls, and rang the vox alarm, and shut the gate, and commanded the armed guards to keep watch over that gate, slaying any who approached. A quarrel broke out. The hungry and sick lay siege to the monastery, begging for help. In their spite, they blocked the water collector and unpowered the generatorium. The faithful, in the meantime, made ready to resist. And a miracle came to pass. The God Emperor sent his champion, his confidant, his right hand, the rogue trader of the blessed House von Valancius. May the light of his grace remain upon it forever. The blessed rogue trader. Oh, this is cool. I like this. So we're effectively hearing a report of what happened from afterwards, and it's just telling the story at this point. Okay. Yeah, I also like this, with us basically coming in as like almost looking like some kind of messiah, some hero figure on coming over the hills. It's kind of cool. Okay. So we can summon them to account for their deeds, or we can do other things which are doing something. So these are doing something, I'm assuming. You will gain. This is you will gain. Okay. You can just leave. Just be like, no. This is not something for me. Okay, I'm going to summon Prelate Hectarchius and the leaders of the interlopers to hold each to account for their deeds. The strangers, prodigious in number, beseeched the rogue trader to take them in and give them shelter and protection as to his own servants. And spake they, saying, Long have we wandered, swiftly have we fled, many a woe and ordeal has befallen us. Of many a father and son we are bereft. Now the warp hath taken the last of our strength, and we shall flee no more. And they spake further, saying, Without thy holy protection, we are doomed, for we fear annihilation at the hands of our kin, who remained behind. For, having fallen away from the sublime light of the Emperor, they have descended into bloody sedition, and become murderers of no mercy. Oh, we got some in here. I'm wondering how we're going to get to this, but it's okay. Quoth Prelate Hectarchius, Ours is a pure and secluded abode. By worldly futility we are untouched, and so we wish to remain. Those unknowing souls seek to capture our abode, avert this calamity of ours, for they are a people malicious and multitudinous and misfated. Then quoth he, If it be thy wish to confer land upon these wretches, confer it, for Foulstone has arid land in abundance. But make it not our duty to care for them, for that is not our path. Provide for them, and provide for us, and we shall acknowledge thee as our planetary sovereign. Okay. Provide for them, provide for us, and we shall acknowledge thee as planetary sovereign. Interesting. So what are our options? Commanded his formidable boarding force to fall upon the interlopers and slay as many as could be slain. Extended a veil of protection over the interlopers, taking them into his care and thereby all of Foulstone with them. Unleashed his armed forces upon the interlopers amongst alike, wreaking great shedding of blood and pillaging. Or just leave. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to extend a veil of protection over the interlopers, taking them into my care and thereby all of Foulstone with them. Again, people. But that would give us profit factor and the hammer of epiphany. But let's go with this one. This one sounds right. So this is basically we confer land upon them. And, you know, then they have some land. Cool, we'll do that. Cool. You reclaimed all the colonies of the von Valancius dynasty. I think this is a achievement towards progress, not an actual achievement. Humbly, the Order of the Hammer heeded the God Emperor's confidant, and unsealed the airlocks, and opened the gates of its abode, and brought forth gifts of virtue to relieve the suffering of the ill-stricken. After a prayer, the architects set to work, in accordance with the saint's teachings and the parameters set forth in the standard template construct. They erected spacious living quarters and sturdy fort walls for the planetary militia, and a spacious auditorium wherein to trade and store goods, and a proud censorum. Within those walls, clerks and servo bondsmen would maintain order and keep statistical records. And a new yet righteous way of life came to Foulstone, and the people rejoiced, and all was good. Oh. Well, that's good. People rejoiced, all was good. Ooh, and this is now an actual place for us. I thought if I clicked on something I'd get a tutorial. Only certain worlds, usually the most habitable, are suitable for establishing thriving colonies ripe for development. Completing projects and colony events can earn the rogue trader unique rewards that cannot be obtained through any other means. Projects are the backbone of colony development. Completing them requires resources that can be obtained by exploring planets and cosmic anomalies. Completing a project takes time. While you continue your travels throughout the Koronus Expanse, you will receive notifications on the screen when a project is finished, informing you that the reward can now be claimed. Okay, so there's a time concept in this game, which is the first time we've really had one of these. Like, it's not a... I'm trying to think of a way of putting it. A lot of games have what I would call milestone time. So, you hit a milestone, and time will pass, right? It'll just be some amount will pass. So, for instance, in a BioWare game, you may have it be, if you go to location 1 and complete the main quest there, time will pass, and things might change based upon that, right? But if you don't ever actually complete that place and you go somewhere else, time is never going to pass. It's not like there's constantly ticking time. From the sounds of this, there's going to be time passing, like in this game as like do X number of things and then time will pass. It's going to be less like it's a milestone where time passes when you complete this one story important thing, and more like time's just going to pass naturally, if that makes some level of sense. Anyway, let's see. I'm not sure if that's right. So we got 3 different projects that we can do, and we had 1 slot for projects. So the first one is for St. Drusus. The powerful, influential cult of St. Drusus is willing to take the young abode of faith under its wing. However, the Order of the Hammer accepts these gifts with caution, wary of the figure of Drusus eclipsing their own patron saint, Cognatius, in the hearts of their flock. So that would get us Infernical, which is a 2-handed flamer. That's a lot of damage. We get holy gifts. Profit factor goes up. Drusians like us more, and then efficiency goes up. Fixed amount of resources produced by the colony, so we get 10% more. It will block the High Throne being here. Okay, this is the Ecclesiarchy needing a capital in the Koronus Expanse. And it blocks the project Celestial Protector. No one in the entire Koronus Expanse makes a worthier guardian of a sanctuary of faith than the head of House von Valancius. Is this saying that if we go this, we can't go either of those? I think that's what it's saying. Okay. Oh, because these are the other 2 that are here. Oh. Yes, read everything. So we can make this the High Throne. The ecclesiarchy lacks a capital in the Koronus Expanse from which to guide the faithful. If Foulstone ascends to the status of cardinal world, the Adeptus Ministorum will ensure the prosperity of their new planetary stronghold. Heretics will tremble when they hear of the alliance between House von Valancius and the ecclesiarchy. So our voidship would gain the Emperor's Retribution feature. So 5% critical hit chance against chaos enemies. Okay, and then we get security. Affects the ability of the colony to cope with negative events on its own. Okay, that in of itself is interesting. So colonies can have negative events. So I assume it's going to be like X amount of time passes, there'll be some kind of roll or you know something in the background. Well, then go. If you get a bad roll, there'll be a negative event, and then this is effectively saying if you get one, it will then check your security level and then say, well, you've got one security level, therefore you're good, or you've got one security level isn't enough, and therefore you're going to get the negative event. That's the way I see this working based on how they do things previously. And then a Celestial Protector. No one in the entire Koronus Expanse will make a worthier guardian of a sanctuary of faith than the head of the House von Valancius. A marvelous basilica will be erected in his honor on the world's capital city. It will be decorated with grand twin statue of the Emperor and the Rogue Trader. Thousands of parishioners and priests will say his name in their daily prayers and bring him reverent gifts. So this gets our voidship the Shield of Faith feature. 30% to the Prow Shield sector. Okay. Gives you complacency. Affects the amount of profit factor produced by the colony and the speed of projects, increasing and decreasing them by 10% for each point of complacency respectively. So, you would get 10% more profit, but speed of things would go down. Okay, interesting. I mean, here's where I'm at, right? I'm just going through it one by one. I think this is probably the worst one right now in terms of these bits, because I think that given that it said we had a lot of projects that we could do, this would then be very this is going to slow down the rest of them. So this seems like a bad first one. Security seems good because then the planet will be secure. However, how worried are we that we're not going to be able to come back to this planet to help it? I don't know. I have no idea. Until we see something happen, I have no idea how good that is. And in this one gets you reputation points with the Drusians, which is interesting. However, it's not necessarily that much. It's only 1,000, which is... we can currently sell 9,000 just for context, so it's not that much, but it's okay. And again, increasing the amount of resources, I love that. Like, just having it give us a lot, and then it gives us a weapon as well? That's cool. Does not inflict burning, despite being a flamer. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, and then on top, on these ones at the top, the weapon is cool. This, I think, is less good than this. I think getting the Prow Shield sector seems better. To me. I think I'm going to go for the St. Drusus one. I think that sounds good. I think that's going to be good. Just want to close this first, though. Is this the same thing? It's the same thing. Okay. So I would like to do this. Do it. Oh, so that now shows you what level 2 is and what level 3 is. Okay. So what do I need for these? Do I need to have completed a level 2? Why is it locked? I don't know why it's locked. I guess because you have to complete level 1. Okay. Is it showing me time on here? How long? 0%. Okay. Colony management. You can now manage your colonies remotely using the colony management screen of Y. Oh. Takes me to the exact same screen. Okay, cool. Interesting. It doesn't say what I need for this project, though. It's just like, yeah, there's a project. Okay, it's just gonna do something by itself, I guess. Okay, cool. I don't entirely understand what's happening, but I'm sure I will in the future. Let's leave. Let's leave. Remember the button to press. It's only been 2 days since I last played, so you know. That's fine. Right. So where have we been? So we've been to these ones. We haven't been to Omicron. We should go to Omicron then, because that's a easy-ish path. It seems like that makes the most sense, and then it lets us see what's going on towards the cauldron here. Yes, it's unsafe. That's okay. Permission to report, Lord Captain. I keep receiving messages about strange behaviours in certain ship systems. All decks report the uncontrollable opening and closing of doors, gates and airlocks. They behave erratically and do not obey the operator's commands. Regrettably, this has led to casualties among the crew. The tech priests have explained that these phenomena are being caused by the machines for its irascibility and have spent hours chanting litanies to soothe their anger. Unfortunately, many crew members were badly injured before the prayers could stabilize the system. Okay, so this is one of the things I was told could happen on Yellow Roots. I think this is what it is. This is flavor text, basically. It's something happened, but it's no actual effect has happened from it. Cool. Omicron. Visit. Okay. Ooh. There are no hostile ships here. I'm gonna go to Space Dust first then. Wait, what I should do before I do anything in a sector is I should have a look at like rumors and things. And just see, do I have anything? Like, look at this one, like saying Lagran's Belt is where pirates are. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Let's see if we have anything else here. No. No other rumors here. I thought we had a rumor about that group from previously that went to the, like from the group of refugees that we just dealt with, but maybe rumors go away once you deal with them? I'm not sure. Okay. And then anything in here? In fact, inspect the fuel lever on the ship's bridge? Oh, that's a critical task? Okay, okay. Or that's the name of the quest is critical tasks? Okay, sure, I'll do that. Back to bridge. I didn't realize I needed to inspect the fuel lever on the bridge. Let's do that. I don't remember getting this one, but sure, let's do it. Right. Once it loads, it'll be mere seconds. In theory. There we go. So there's apparently a fuel lever here for me to click. Just trying to see where. Fuel lever. Where would we put one of these? If I was a lever for fuel, where would I put it? Ah, there we go, over here. Wonderful. I don't know what this is, so let's do a quick save. And then click on it. No failures detected, system operational. Okay. Is there a next part to that quest? Calibrate the ship's Vox system. Okay. Sure. Let's do that. Maybe this is what our flavor text did. Gave us this quest, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, it's fine. Hello. Let's see. Have the Vox spirits brought you anything interesting lately? Nope. Okay. My personal log states that the ship's Vox system is malfunctioning. Can you explain? Lord Captain, the Vox Master is caught off guard by your question. It takes her a moment to find her words. The Vox system is functioning as expected, and no communication problems have been reported by any of the crew. Please allow me to check the system's calibration settings in your presence to alleviate any concerns you may have about its performance. The Vox Master's thin fingers dart between hundreds of wires and cables on the control panel. Flipping switches and turning dials, she issues commands and methodically checks the lines of communication with the crew on every deck. At last, accompanied by the sound of static, the cracking of the vox, and the flickering of signaling lights, the dance of her hands concludes. All finished, Lord Captain. No issues detected. The system is working as expected. She studies your face as she awaits the response. Thank you for your service, Mistress Toloman. Lord Captain. She offers an unusually deep bow, likely using it to mask her confusion. Okay. And then what do we have? Visit the Forgotten Twin system? Huh. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't remember getting this. She's confused about us asking about it. Huh. Interesting. Are we being slowly manipulated here? I don't know. Okay. Well, that's weird. Where does it want us to go? Forgotten Twins. Alright. Well, sure. That seems fine. Okay. In we go. Back to the Koronus Expanse map. Weird. Very weird. Space dust? It is some fuel. Okay, this one. Scan it. Ooh, magnetic storm. The magnetic storm raging above the planet blurs the gaze of the auger arrays. Only truly powerful diviner machines may see through the currents of the magnetic fluctuations on their blessed vigil and discover the mysteries of this emperor-forsaken planet. We'll leave and come back, is what it said there. Okay, interesting. Let's head to this thing. Let's see what's on Lava Planet. We have inhabited world. The ruins of an ancient imperial city were discovered on a dead world completely deprived of an ecosystem. According to the reports, the entire settlement is contained in a titanic glass dome that once held an artificial atmosphere. Your augurs detected the framework of 3 other similar structures that were never completed. For whatever reason, the dome systems failed and left behind this city, a ghost that never managed to become a proper colony of the Imperium. Okay. Explore the local palace. A lavishly decorated estate of the local ruler towers over rows of featureless bunkhouses. Several explorers perished from the cleverly hidden tripwires in the courtyard, but after losing their companions, the team easily disarmed the remaining traps in the estate. Anything of value has been promptly delivered to the rogue trader's vessel. The Lord Captain was even given an exquisite sword found in a secret cache that once belonged to the mansion's owner. Ghost sword. Cool. We'll need to see what that actually does, if it does anything. Okay. Send a crew to explore the city's temple district. Hey, we got some holy gifts. And a blessed bolter casing. Okay. The temple district is situated at the heart of the city. The God Emperor statue, intricately carved from precious crystal, is suspended beneath the dome, supported by chains of gold, and can be seen from anywhere in the colony. Inspired by the majestic sight, the expedition members set off to explore the area with renewed vigour. Soon enough, they stumbled upon an ancient weapon lying on a pedestal wreathed in sunlight. The expedition brought it back to the ship and told many tales about how the Emperor himself, who had been watching them from above, had directed their attention to the sacred relic. Okay. Let's get as many supplies as possible. Alright, thank you for the supplies. Your people flooded the city like a tidal wave, filled building after building, bunkhouse after bunkhouse, and receded from its quiet streets just as quickly. There were plenty of useful things among their findings, including foodstuffs and weapons. Okay. Drain the remaining fuel from the generator stations. The city won't need them anymore. Cool. Take several trips to deliver the massive promethium storage tanks to your vessel. The crew grimly points out the colony was running out of fuel, and had the life support systems not failed prematurely, the locals would have perished due to lack of energy. We'll now leave the dead city. Alright, that seemed very worth going to. Let's have a look in here. Newest to oldest. So, single attacks with bolter weapons automatically hit the target. Oh. Okay. Oh, that's good. Argenta? You might as well. You have nothing else in those slots. Automatically hit the target? Yeah, I'll take that. Then Ghost Sword. You're the only person who can use it, because it's an Alderi weapon currently. Okay. It's not as good as your other stuff. Yeah, I think that it's probably for the cargo. Okay. That's fine. We'll leave these for now. We could probably want to look at those later. The other thing that's been suggested is that she actually doesn't need to use swords because these are used in melee. So she could, in theory, use the two-handed weapon instead. Now, the reason I'm reluctant to give her this great two-handed weapon that she gave us is because if we use this great two-handed weapon, that means we have 3 characters who are using the Deadeye shot as sniper rifle stuff, which means that effectively we have like just done the same build on 3 people, like slightly different, but basically just the same idea on 3 different people, which I want to try and avoid. So we're going to stick with this for now, but we'll see. Her weapon skill is not very high, so she might never actually use these, but we'll leave it for now. We're not going to get rid of this weapon, we're not going to change anything else up. But the point was basically that you can use pistols in melee, so why do you need a melee weapon if your weapon skill is terrible? Which is a good point. And I understand the point is very valid. I'm just reluctant. Anyway, we'll see. We've been there. Let's head to this one. Right. Ooh, it's an odd shape. Yeah, that kind of lump in there. It's more plasteel. Okay. Well, I don't currently have any use for plasteel as far as I'm aware. Yep. So it's time to leave. Okay. Cool. Okay. Let's do this, and then we're going to chart new routes from here. So we can actually get to this one a little bit more safely now. See where else we can go. Just trying to see. So Langren's Belt's where we had a couple of rumors. There's the Forgotten Twins that we heard about. Yeah. From this one. Huh. Interesting. What else did we find? It was dumped cargo. Somewhere between 100 Dreams Crosshold or Langren's Belt. Yeah, okay. And the other one was Xeno Heresy in Langren's Belt. Okay, well, I think we should head here because it's a low-risk route. Makes sense to me. There's no reason for us to go anywhere. Like, all these places we could go to, right? And they could be interesting, but, like, this is just free right now. And there's no kind of, there's nothing pushing us to do anything else. Lord Captain, I hasten to report disturbing news brought to me by machine spirits of the ship. The matter is extremely delicate and concerns Lady Cassia. You see, since her first day aboard, her presence has disturbed the crew's, has been a disturbance to the crew's way of life. If you'll allow it, I have prepared a detailed report. Okay, deliver your report. The first incident occurred immediately after her departure from Uric 5. The Lady Navigator chastised one of the ship's runners, after which he went to his living quarters, killed his family, and then shot himself. Oh! The second incident was noted while traversing the warp. The Lady Navigator gave the pilots wrong instructions, and the voidship was thrown off course. For a matter of minutes, but this was enough for the forces of the Imperium to anger the machine spirits enough for them to start fire in the service bay. After that, officers living near the Lady Navigator's quarters began to express extreme emotions, hysteria, apathy, euphoria, rage. This is quite detrimental to crew morale and performance. The last incident was recorded on Footfall. Around 100 living birds were delivered on board during our stay on Footfall. Each bird cost a hefty sum, and I have failed to discover their purpose and subsequent fate. I was also told about a conflict between the Lady Navigator and the Seneschal, alas with no details. If you like, you can ask Master Bersarian directly. Things are even worse with Jay Hadari. I intercepted a voxcast in which she promised she would, I quote, end that Kasia if she ever saw her again. If I may, Lord Captain, the Lady Navigator's state of mind worries me. She is self-contained and does not mesh with the crew at all, which is why everyone avoids her. Even senior officers can be superstitious. I fear that only you are in a position to talk to her on equal footing and improve the situation. For the sake of the crew's safety, and that of Lady Cassia herself. Well, we heard about some of that sort of stuff happening at our previous place, so we can't be too surprised. Ooh, we have a dangerous route up here to this one. Okay, cool. All of our routes are a little dangerous now, actually. Yeah, that we want to go on, unless we want to go back and around. Oh, you can also see, like, they've got some plasteel here. That's cool. I was wondering how you would see that, but that is useful. Just go, okay, I need some plasteel, let's go there, there, and pick it up. Okay. Neat. Let's head to the bridge, see what Cassia has to say. Okay. Definitely sounds bad for crew morale if they're killing themselves. That would not improve their job performance. Yes. Right. This way. Wait a second. This way. Hello.
Lord Captain.
Seneschal, what gift would you give to the girl you liked?
I used to give Genusian lilies to the girl I liked, but the species long since extinct. Now it lives only in my memory. Ask someone else, your lordship. I am too old to remember how to charm young ladies.
Frowning, the Seneschal looks away. I hear you and Cassie exchanged words recently. What happened?
And who brought this piece of news to you, I wonder? Then again, I have nothing to hide from you. Of late, the helmsmen have been going off course with increasing frequency, and the reports are full of contradicting accounts. The problem continued, even after several demotions were handed out, so I took it upon myself to investigate. I was astonished to learn that our Lady Navigator has been amending entries in the ship's log, and the officers have been keeping silent on her orders. I immediately demanded an end to the outrageous conduct, and I reprimanded Lady Cassia in front of the officers. She greeted my words with silence, and then quickly departed. I should not have acted thus. I never even found out what drove her to do it. Lord Captain.
I do like that we handed out demotions and the issue was still there. It's kind of like the, I forget where it came from, but the beatings will continue until morale improves. It's got the same kind of vibe, right? It's, you know, we will keep demoting people until we are better at this. Alright. I don't think you're really getting to the source of the issue here. Right, hello.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Okay, what kind of gift do you think would please Jay?
I know very little about how ordinary couples come together. The books I have read always skirted around that side of life, keeping silent on the matter. A heartfelt poem, perhaps? I'm not sure Jai enjoys poetry, though.
Oh, you're calling her Jai. Okay. I will keep that noted. I've heard rumors that you are not getting along well with the crew. Panic flashes in her ruby-red eyes and your heart starts beating a little faster while your hands go cold.
Not here. I'm begging you. Aren't noblemen supposed to discuss such things away from the servants?
Alright, let's go to my study. No one will disturb us there.
Then lead the way, and I will answer all of your questions.
We shall go to the study, as there is no voice acting in the study. What is it you wanted to talk about, Lord Captain? I have nothing to say to your unfounded accusations about my conflict with the crew, and I cannot recall having a single quarrel with any of your people during my entire time aboard. Okay. Well, you've been willfully changing entries in the ship's logbook and forbidding officers from reporting it to Abelard. I beg to differ. I read numerous books on Astra Nataris and can swear on House Orcelio's honour that your officers are entering data in complete contravention of regulation. False terms, random distance between lines, spelling mistakes in even the simplest of words. I spent the last few cycles correcting the latest log entries, and I thought it would please Master Abelard, as he is so fond of order. Yet the Seneschal did not appreciate my efforts, and for some reason called them an outrage, even though mere days before he had been swaddling me in warm yellow words. I noticed all your people do this when they're expressing sympathy. I merely wanted to repay the Seneschal with the same courtesy. Perhaps he finds my friendliness off-putting. The messenger you rebuked butchered his own family and then killed himself. I haven't rebuked a single errand boy on the ship. Cassia ponders this for a moment. Ah, I think I remember. A kind young man with a shy smile and skillful fingers with too much rotten ochre on his shoulders. I grew tired of the disgusting colour and advised him to lighten his burden by casting the weight off his shoulders. He did not come the next day, or ever again. Yeah, that's not good. During the warp voyage, you gave the wrong orders, which led to the vessel shifting off course and the service bay being destroyed. I saw something in the warp, something vast, predatory, shimmering with indescribable colours. It came from nowhere and stared at the ship with hundreds of hungry eyes, right there in our path. I decided to change course while it was still possible, but did not want to sow panic. Would it have been better to tell the crew we're headed straight into a monster's gaping maw? Okay. The officers are reluctant to be quartered next to your chambers because of the constant emotional outbursts it causes them. Some even maim themselves and others. I already told you I cannot control my abilities. What else do you want from me? Will I be assigned a pariah chaperone, or will you put me in suppressing shackles? Would you mind telling me why you needed 100 species of birds and what you used them for? Admittedly, I'm at a loss myself. The day we arrived on Footfall, I sent a request to the ship's quartermaster and asked him to get me a songbird. But he never asked for clarification, and shortly before we left, I had countless numbers of cages delivered to me, all wrapped in bright red panic with flickering tints of fear. There was a bird in every one. I was so excited. I thought I would have 100 friends instead of just one. They were squeaking so piteously I let the poor things out and even fed them my breakfast and dinner. But the stupid birds would not stop chittering even after bedtime. They were dashing about the room, smacking me in the face with their wings and defecating. I became angry and suddenly they started pecking at each other's eyes and attacking me. Then I became afraid and they fell over dead. I do not think I want to keep pets anymore. Okay, well I think I've heard enough. Will you share your thoughts with me? My crew is a good reason to fear you. You truly are a monster. That's probably not going to help control our emotions. You are a kind soul but have difficulty reaching out to people. I could teach you the art of communication if you like. You've done terrible things but have not presumed to lecture a person of noble blood. Woe dogs your step, but we'll find a way to defeat them. I promise, or everyone who dares slander you will be punished. You have a kind soul but difficulty reaching out to people. I could teach you the art of communication if you like. That would be wonderful. My education on Urac 5 was cut short, but I had realized by then that the wisdom of books is a poor substitute for the wisdom of experience. Very well. Since we are done with this misunderstanding, I would like to change the subject. It would only be fair for me to ask you a few questions now, wouldn't it? Cassia hesitates and continues in a less confident tone. Do not mistake me. I'm not going to accuse you of anything. It's just that you're the most worthy interlocutor on the entire ship. You're always so busy. What would you like to ask? I read a treatise by Paisius de Mobius very recently, who claimed that subjects would never believe their new ruler was better than their old one, unless the old one had been a tyrant. No matter the circumstances, the lowborn rabble become deluded about their prospects and rebel in favour of their base desires. What do you make of that? Okay. So we can say, your interpretation of this classical text is not entirely correct. If the subjects have grown accustomed to the ruling house, all the sovereign must do is refrain from breaching long-standing traditions. Adjust unwanted laws as gradually as you would shift the bed of a flooded river, and no one will ever take power from you. Okay. On the contrary, the loyalty of subjects can be bought at a pittance. Lower attacks throw them a festival or feed the needy. A gracious gesture once every cycle will exalt you in the eyes of the rabble. It's always been my opinion that subjects expect two things from the sovereign: to abuse power and bless the babies. Succeed at both, and boring essays become unnecessary. Forgive my temerity, Lady Cassie. I was looking into your eyes, or I'm afraid I do not have an answer. I'm not familiar with the works of this scholar. Let's do our lore Imperium one. Let's just say, don't rock the boat too much. Make your changes gradually. Yeah, I think that sounds right. Cassia thinks for a moment, then smiles. Indeed, I was not wrong about your merits or your ability to hold a conversation. I hope my second question does not confound you either. According to the 20 tomes penned by the preacher Oistach Istvan the Forgotten, mercy and cruelty go through the world hand in hand, but people flock only to one pan of the scales. Would you rather inspire fear in your followers or be magnanimous and choose awe? Okay. Sensei, I'm not afraid of acquiring a reputation for ruthlessness. I will exercise restraint and leniency. One must be a tyrant and a gesture to one's subjects. What matters is to clearly discern which role is required at a given moment. I like that one. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, so one must be a tyrant, a friend, and a gesture to one's subjects. What matters is to clearly discern which role is required at a given moment. There's so much power in your words, power that makes me want to join you. Understand now why your subjects are eager to follow you. I admit, I was afraid we were too different, and yet, you helped me realize I can be candid with you. Please, do continue. I must confess that sometimes I can hardly bear the burden the house has placed upon me. I feel I am not doing my best. Tell me how you, heir to a protectorate, can bear the responsibility for billions of lives day after day and not stoop under all the weight. Okay. Let's see. It is my duty, whether I like her or not. I think that's kind of pragmatic. Yeah. Thank you for your patience, Malachi. You helped me see the world in different colors. Novel experience for me. Our conversations hold a special place in my heart. Allow me to bid you farewell for now. I'm heading back to my chambers to consider today's conversation. Okay. We have done it. Now, apparently there's something else to do in our chambers. There's apparently some things. Is it over here, maybe? Yeah, so these should be things from our adventure. Mask of Aurora, the prophet of the arch enemy who foretold the final dawn of Rykad Minoris. The hideous head of a steel devil destroyed by the rogue trader aboard a corrupted voidship. Yeah, so we can start seeing like bits of our adventure in here. I wonder if there are any others. I guess not, because these are like Lady Theodora's stuff. Maybe up here? No, they're just weapons. Okay. Cool. Anyway, yeah, we can start to see our chambers being built up as we clear things. Just cool. Right. Well, seems like a good point to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.